Let's open with a few superstar questions. Does Cristiano Ronaldo score with every free kick? Does LeBron James hit every basket? Does Virat Kohli smash every ball for 6? As dominant as the best athletes in these sports are, they are not perfect. We like to think they are, and the highlight reels are endless, but their actual accuracy and success rates are not as high. We are, of course, being selective in the moments in which they succeed. But we also fall victim to a logical fallacy, survivorship bias. That is, we examine only the select few that succeeded and draw conclusions based on them, disregarding those who failed from our sample. What does this have to do with Olympic archery? One of the criticisms of the sport by spectators is that it is too boring and too easy. Boring is subjective, but for the latter, the evidence presented is that Olympic archers always hit 9 or 10 gold. This indicates that there is apparently no skill involved or that the sport needs to become more challenging. First, let's address whether Olympic archers actually hit gold every shot. There's an immediate problem that won't be evident to casual viewers. What you see televised is not the actual archery event. The elimination match play, where archers compete one-on-one in the tournament bracket, is quite different from normal archery rounds. It is tailored specifically for the spectator experience, allowing for close matches and comebacks because of the set point system. The issue with using this as your sample is that there are very few data points. An archer who wins in a straight set will only shoot 9 arrows. That is too few to build a significant sample size, even considering multiple matches. And this is disregarding the fact that they don't even hit gold all the time here. The bulk of the tournament is actually the ranking round, which involves 72 arrows for a maximum score of 720. This is not televised both in the Olympic format and the regular international events. It is a very long session with little interaction, but allows athletes to determine their ranking and seeding for the tournament bracket. Normally, only the semi-finals and finals are broadcast, but the Olympic event includes more matches. If you look at the results table from events, in this case the 2020 Olympics, you'll see a far greater spread. The overall performance of an athlete is more accurately assessed over this sample size. Not only can we see the overall results, but also the individual scorecards. The results actually list a number of 10s and X's. I'm going to be generous and say that any average above 9 counts as quote all gold, technically. The top athlete, Kim Dae-jeok, scored 688 for an average of 9.5 with 43 10s. Over half his shots were perfect scores, with the remainder being 9. The eventual gold medalist, Mete Gazos, scored 669, averaging 9.3. His scorecard shows a number of 8s and 7s in the red ring. Current world number 1, Marcus D'Almeida, scored 651, averaging just above 9. The breakpoint for the 9 average is 648, which is ranked 49 onwards, including multiple veteran Olympians and international gold medalists. Success and perfection are far from guaranteed. For women, top seed An San scored 680, but a scorecard clearly shows that she hit red more than a few times. The 648 breakpoint is from number 26, with German champion and veteran shooter Lisa Undra having a few fairly bad ends. And while we are nitpicking scorecards, this is connected to the perception of archery being too easy and golds are too common. Remember, only the semi-finals and finals are usually televised and repeated on highlight reels. Everyone else gets eliminated earlier in the tournament. You are only seeing the very best and most consistent. The final 4 shoot their very best. This is like looking at the final athletes in a high jump or pole vault and starting at their best height instead. The majority of the competition is the lead up to the final attempts, in the same way that archery's elimination rounds are the end of a long qualifying event that is not broadcast. Hence, survivorship bias serves to reinforce the perception of archery being too easy. The people who shoot this well are the ones who appear on the screen. But there is a deeper level of survivorship bias. No doubt it's the dream of many athletes to be like Ronaldo or LeBron, but few people in their respective leagues are anywhere near that quality. But these are professional leagues. They are not representative of the sport as a whole. The athletes at the Olympics only represent the very best out of all professional athletes worldwide. After all, not every team qualifies. Not every NBA player will be represented at the Olympics. But more importantly, not every basketball player plays in the NBA. For every sport, there are second, third, fourth or more tiers that go into amateur sport, and the very grassroots level we have local community sport. The athletes that are showcased are the best of the best of the best, the top 1% of the top 1%. How do you compare an elite athlete with a local who's doing it as weekend fun? They are playing the same sport to the same rules. This is the danger of making judgments based on what we see at the top level of competition. Any changes up there will come down on everyone playing at lower levels. This is actually a known problem with video games and esports. Developers have to balance the game to make the professional scene more competitive, but professional esports play on a much different level to casual players who lack the same skills, coordination, and communication. What is overpowered in solo play might be quite weak in competitive teams. It's an endless cycle of balance changes that will frustrate casual players. So, if you make the target more difficult for archery because the gold medalists never miss gold, that alienates 95% of the people who do the sport. Most archers don't get a chance to participate in match play tournaments, so the knockout format is already biased towards the spectator experience. In fact, the set point system used for recurve was specifically made for broadcasting because the winner isn't necessarily the one who shoots best overall on the day, but the one who can clinch points and force the shoot off. Changing the event to be exclusively more difficult to the standard of these finalists will virtually stop anyone from making that climb, because we simply don't get the chance. It already is exclusive to a small percentage of archers who choose to do this sport at a competitive level. The result will be a sport that will be less competitive. This will only be necessary if the level of competition was too low. If everyone literally shot perfect scores, that is a legitimate problem. But no one has shot a perfect score, and the field is equal enough so that ranking is determined by someone having a good or bad day. It's easy to watch the result on the screen and think that's just about point and shoot, but the result is far from guaranteed. Every archer works for every shot. Let's not forget that ultimately, sports is about friendly competition. It's about personal best. If a sport is spectator friendly and entertaining, that is nice too, but that shouldn't take away from the fundamental identity of the sport. We don't need to introduce gimmicks to create artificial challenges. The core sport, no matter what form it is done in, is a challenge in itself. If you still think that this is easy, you are welcome to try it.